is Francesca Fattore. I served 3 years, 8 months behind bars for conspiracy to supply Class A drugs. Lee, if you want to introduce yourself, we haven't been on for a while, so thank you so much for coming on. It's a
That's
shame
okay.
it's for the wrong reasons, but yeah, I appreciate you coming on
I
tonight.
know. That's okay. So hi everyone, I'm Lee, aka Reasoning with Empress Lee. Follow me if you're not already. I also served 3 years actually in prison for the same crime, just not together. So yeah, we're here at Agents of Change, trying to give you guys some insight on the injustice of the system as much as we can. And yeah, just hope you guys enjoy the experiences that you're hearing, because this is my life. So yeah.
So just quickly, everyone that's watching it now and watches this afterwards, Lee's social media is all under Reasoning with Reasoning with Empress Lee, and it is on
Yes.
the picture. So the picture of this, the thumbnail, it is on there. So if you forget, just tap that in. Come back to this, tap it in, and yeah, please give her a subscribe, a follow on TikTok XYZ.
Appreciate it.
So before we hit it off, then, right? So I was 37 when I went to prison. How old was you?
I was 32.
32. Evening, everybody that's just jumped in. So yeah. So Lee's had a bit of a bad news tonight. So we're going to hear Lee's story. Evening, Justine. We're going to hear Lee's story, and then yeah, we can do Q&A at the end of it. I'm just going to let you talk, Lee, because yeah, obviously we spoke on the phone earlier, and it's been a bit of a shit day for you. So yeah, if you want to let everyone know what happened.
Okay, I'll try and keep it as short as possible and just give you the things that matter. So obviously, I done a sentence. Through that sentence, I saw a lot of things happen in that prison, which made me really understand that women's prisons shouldn't even be open, first of all. So it inspired me to start advocating for the women in there, which I did quite a lot of. And then it extended when I got released. I started to advocate even more for the women and for myself, obviously. I did a few projects. I worked for a few organizations and managed to, build my confidence and stuff. And then I got involved in a project not too long ago, actually, about August this year, which just really changed everything for me. And I thought, you know what, it's good now. I've got a good set of people around me, and they're pushing me, and they're doing this rehabilitation thing. So I'm like, okay. So I decided to apply for a job. For an advocate, to work professionally as an advocate for women in prison. And
just before you go into that, so if people haven't heard of Women in Prison, what is it? Who are they? What do they do? Because obviously, if you've been in prison, like I've heard of them, anyone in the prison world will definitely know who they are. But people watching this that have nothing to do with the prison, like what? Do you want to enlighten us a little bit?
Okay, so Women in Prison is an organisation that was set up by an ex-offender 40 years ago, actually, this year. So they celebrated 40 years this year. You can look at them online, womeninprison.co.uk, and to find out, depths of what they do. But this is the thing. It's an interesting question, because for the time that I was in prison, I remember the leaflets. I remember those little booklets that there used to be around, and it always had, from Women in Prison, whatever. I never engaged with them in there because of the title, because I always believed that it was about women in prison. So if I'm trying to get out, if I'm coming home, I didn't really see no relevance. And I remember there was a few women that was engaging with them inside the prison that was trying to contest their crimes and stuff. So again, I didn't feel like it was any relevance. So what do? They're supposed to support women that are reintegrated back into the community via programs and
okay, all right, obviously. So do they help you in prison, or do they help you after prison? Is that what they're based on, or just whilst you're in prison and then bye Felicia when you get out of the gate?
No, so it actually has a system that goes right through. So you have advocates that are based inside the prison, that then obviously put them onto advocates that are outside of the prison. So it's supposed to be like a whole wraparound care, and they do have, to be honest, a good pathways, i.e. for people with substance use. They've got amazing housing advocates, and what's the other section? And then they cover, I think, 10 boroughs within London also. So yeah.
So you've gone to work with them, yeah? Is that what happened? So you've done
Yeah,
something, you've
so I
gone to
got
work
so
with them.
basically I applied for an advocate job, and actually got the job, did an interview, passed the interview, got the job, and then the process started with the vetting. So
So
I
before,
previously
just sorry, I know I'm being really rude and cutting you off,
no, no,
but
no, go ahead.
just before we get to today, you've also been on the BBC News due to this, right? So
Yeah,
that was a big moment for you.
yeah, it was, to be honest.
You know what I'm doing, doesn't it?
I know
You know
it's
what I'm doing.
fine because it's I need you to kind of remind me. So yeah, so all right, so let's slow down, go back. So I started the job within a couple of weeks. I was offered a place to speak about women in prison, you know, the amazing work that they do for people like myself that come out of prison. Um, you know,
Sorry.
stuff you need to stop.
I know.
So
Sorry, everyone. I'm so
on a
sorry. I'm
serious note,
sorry,
guys.
Lee. Because it's not. Do you know what you've been through today is not even funny, but it's
But we have
funny
to know.
who these people portray themselves to be. Carry on. I'll stop.
Where did I get to now?
I don't even know.
Can someone
So you're
help us
working
out?
for them, but you got to go through a vetting process because that's what happens.
Okay, no, you was
Things
talking
are
about
going
the
great.
news. You was talking about
Yeah,
the news. Yeah. So
yeah.
okay, so started the job. So the funny thing is, right? If I just go back a little bit, so when I first came out of prison, I I was going for a lot of stuff in terms of like needed to work and so forth. So I actually reached out to St. Charles. I got my job centre to refer me to St. Charles. And where I went there, I did my advice and guidance. I did a lot of courses there. And then I got a voluntary role as a peer advisor. So I did that for about a year or so. Then I started on the EPOP project, which is engaging with people on probation with probation. So I was delivering workshops to probation. And so I was doing a lot of stuff in that time. I also met Keir Starmer. I did a lot of media stuff and a lot of talks off the back of this organization, right? So then I've come to this organization, and it's like the same things happened. It's like I don't know. I don't know why they always want to make a story out of somebody's life, um, and that's what makes this quite sad. Is because it sounded great, women in prison have given Leona this opportunity, to rehabilitate herself, and we've given offered, they even said it like if you haven't seen the clip. Please check out my TikTok and my YouTube. I think it's on both of them. Check out the clip. They say blatantly that they've offered her a job, and it was a lie. So they gave the world hope that there it's an organization that actually believes in change and actually supports women that are trying to rehabilitate themselves. So I asked the question, what is rehabilitation? Because it doesn't make sense to me what's actually happened. So when you fast forward now, I've been working for a few months. I do understand that there are laws and procedures and so forth and so on. However, it's not just women in prison that have to answer to the questions that I have. It's the HMPPS, to be honest, because you have a process that allows organizations to employ people, have them work for, I'd say, how long have I been there? 4 months, 4 or 5 months. The vetting process you have to go through. So they allow you to work, and then when your vetting process comes back, they just let you go. They can just let you go. Some organizations will try to keep you. That's another story. Some will try to keep you, and try to find other roles. And an organization like Women in Prison, to me, would have been the organization to do that by any means necessary. After watching my journey and seeing my testimony of where I've come from, where I've been, and what I'm actually doing within their own organization now as a representative, to get rid of me, you know, how many days before Christmas are we? To not acknowledge or even make HMPPS accountable for what's happening. Like, I'm not saying I'm special, but I just know that when you have an opportunity to shine as an organization and say, look, this would have been it. Like, look what we've got. We've got a woman that's actually rehabilitated. Now she's an advocate. And, this is what we're doing. Next year, when I can apply again, who knows? I might just pass the vetting. Because that vetting process is a load of nonsense. They don't allow you to even defend yourself, represent yourself. It's literally one piece of paper, form you fill out, you send off, and they send it back and say no. There's no. I felt like I should have been sitting at parole board. I should have been sitting and fighting for my life because This is my life, is it not? But I am disposed. I was disposed, discarded. I was called at 8 o'clock in the morning and told that I need to bring back the people them equipment. And basically, it felt like just being marched out of somewhere. I don't feel like it was dealt with correctly. I don't feel like I was given any kind of notice, or I don't think the right people were there to support that decision. There was no aftercare. And now we're here. So for the last 24 hours, I've just sat down, I've held a little meds, and I'm like, let me reach out to the people that actually matter, which are the people that have experienced this, which goes back to the fact that we have always been supporting each other when it really counts. Do you understand? So no matter who's out there, what organizations and this, it all goes back to us. Like I just reached out to everyone today because I'm like, look what is going on. Like, and they're like, I'm so sorry this has happened to you. And I do feel like it's sincere because this is a shambles. So what hope do I have now? What do I do now? What do I do now? Not like that, because we know what I'm gonna do, but what do I do? What does someone else do that doesn't have the strength that I do? What does someone else do that, you know, there's so much things you could think about when it comes to someone else being in that situation, and they would do it to them too.
Yeah,
So
see,
what kind of hope do you have? You don't want to work. What's the point? You don't want to. You lose the motivation. I lost the will to live. When I first heard about the vetting, I was like, it's just ridiculous. What kind of criminals do you want? What do you want? I've just sat on here and said that it was for a conspiracy to import Class A drugs. Okay, cool. But that wasn't my part in it. So when it comes to representing myself and saying, look, I feel like I've got the credentials to be an advocate. Let me prove that. Let me show you that the judge said that I had minimal or no knowledge of this case. Let me show you that. They don't want to see it. Let me show you the references that I've got from all over, all different types of professionals from all over this country that are willing to support me. They don't want to see that. So are you really trying to rehabilitate people?
I mean, yeah, I'm going to just jump in there quickly because Glenna said that they did it to her as well. That's who I was telling you was a mental health worker in there. But
Okay.
evening, everybody that's just jumped in. Park Boy Head, I missed you.
Hey, that's
But like some, my head's spun right. So they're rehabilitating women when they come out of prison. They give you this job. They obviously think you've obviously proven to be amazing because they've chosen you to go on to the BBC London News, whatever it was, BBC One, whatever it was.
yeah.
Um, and then they're like, bang, you've been basically sacked. Like you said, there's no aftercare, knowing full well that you're an ex-prisoner. You rely on this for you and your child. Why have they not signposted you and gone, there's vacancies here, 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 and there? Because we support women. This is what we do. And then now you are in a massive, like, it's like weeks before Christmas, man. And
I
then
know.
what do you do? What do? You go and commit a crime again to survive, to feed your child?
Well, this is why I don't put all of the accountability on women in prison. And the reason why is because they are under contracts, like organizations, they have contracts and stuff, right? So if a contract is saying that you have to be vetted in order to get, I don't know, funding or whatever it is, or to be able to, then that's what it is. Do you get what I mean? So it goes back to the HMPPS and how they process, because it looks like I know why I want to speak about this, because I know I'm not the only one, but I just know not a lot of people speak about it. The fact that they actually apply for a job, they get it, they may be there for a couple of months, and then boom, because of vetting, they can't stay. But my argument is that women in prison are an organization. It's like I said, the organization by name for women in prison. So there should be a contingency budget for things like this. When you have someone that comes into the organization and doesn't pass the vetting, but has more than the credentials to do the role. Yeah. So you have a contingency budget to be able to facilitate that role. I don't, because what do you lot do with the money? Because if the money is to rehabilitate, so why have I gone? Why are you telling me that you didn't have money? You don't have enough money to keep me because
Yeah, and
I
it
can't do the role. So why is it that they keep giving you these fundings without having in some strategy that you need to have a contingency plan for the women that come out of prison, for your own organization, for your own self, just to say in a year's time, like, look what we did with the money. You gave us 100 grand. We reserved 30 grand each for 3 people to do full-time and one to do part-time, and this is the result. And these people didn't have vetting. Give people a chance, because we're not out here stupid. I'm not stupid. I have a lot of skill. And then I've got people sending me messages like, have you linked in with Working Chance? Have you? I don't want to do that. I am an advocate for women in prison. That's what I am. That's what I do. I live it, I breathe it every day. Why is it that I can't do that? Why are you stopping me from using my lived experience for the better good of this whole entire world? Like, honestly, it's ridiculous. So the people that actually can make the changes are the people that you're stopping. Because what we're going to do? What we're going to do with me now?
But that's what I'm
I know
saying.
what
Like
you're going to
they,
do with me.
yeah, I know, but you could be someone really, really vulnerable that's not strong minded, that doesn't have the support around them. And you think, by God, if this is what women in prison that are supporting women are doing, I've got no hope. Why did I bother? Why did I invest? What is the point? And but the thing is even if, let's just say they couldn't, let's just say they generally didn't have the funding, like to pay to keep you on permanently, they've got the funding to go, listen, we can't keep you on. We're going to keep you for 3 months, but you got 3 months to find another job. Do you know what I'm saying? At least something, because they got the money to do that.
Well,
You
I'm
know
not
they
going to
have.
say they have it and they don't. What I will say is that if I've been given a role and in the middle of a month you're taking me out of a role before a 6-month probation. So again, this role must be funded for a year, no?
Of
So
course.
there's enough money, like you said,
Yeah,
to keep me even until February.
that's what I'm
Let
saying. Let
January manifest.
Christmas go.
No, but forget December. You've got to let January manifest. Let's see what she does in January, because we can afford to pay her one more month of a wage just to see. Let her know, send her an email, let her know that there's a plan in place. No, that didn't happen. So, but I want to go back to Joe's question, because Joe said, I don't get it. She's like, they know your history. Here's the thing. HMPPS are the ones that make all the shots. Yeah, they provide the money in most cases in terms of funding, and they set the framework. They tell you how it's supposed to go, right? The organizations are just doing what they're supposed to do. They're just following suit. They only have a certain little leverage to be able to do certain things, which I understand. So this is bigger than WIP. Although, like I said, how they dealt with me was very, very incorrect to it, and I will be calling that out. I will be calling that out, because you don't support women in prison. Because I was like, where's my aftercare? When I left that office with the one little piece of paper in my hand telling me that my job has been terminated from today, and that's the end of that, and that's the end of that. The last date on that paper was the 20th of December. So my whole life has changed again. Today was the start of a whole new chapter for me.
But
Again.
that's bad. Like, that's really, really
Yeah.
bad and really dangerous for an ex-offender to have to come away and be like that. Because, mate, if I had no family, if I had nobody and I had no support, nothing like that, and I tried and I come out and I grafted and I got that far and I got knocked back, for me, they'd be like, well, there's only one option for me now.
Yeah, but the biggest thing for me, because I've come so far in this journey of lived experience and being an experiential advisor and all of that, and I know and I've seen how important it is to be embedded in every aspect of these sectors, like whether it be social, criminal justice, whatever, especially within the criminal justice system. Do you understand? So working in an organization with someone with lived experience, they're still very behind. They don't understand that. I had clients that literally built such a great relationship with me in such a short space of time because of relatability first. And then obviously just because we got on and we built a relationship, but it started with relatability. And not because I had to scream and shout and be like, hi, I went to prison. Sometimes the way you speak to these women, yeah, these women are on probation, and that you feel them, you've been there, So you're not there to tell them. It's very different when you're speaking from lived experience. And this is how you rehabilitate, by using the voices of the people with lived experience to help the others. Because what are we doing here? Do you understand? They need more of this. This is what they're running from. They don't want it. And because why? Because you clearly don't want rehabilitation. What else could it be? What else? It's just like a rat race. You're just making it look good, throwing money around the place, pots here, there, everywhere. But what's really happening? We don't have no alternative. We've got one alternative home for women. One. One. With all this money flying around in these support services, one. We have women coming out of prison in sleeping bags. Come on, man. Tents. I saw and heard it for myself. Disgusting. You got women coming out of prison with their children, families. There's the things that like the little gaps that I saw, I was trying to fill because I'm like, okay, clothes, like where's the support really? Because everyone's got substance misuse, housing, this, like it's just all boring. We need some real leadership workshops. We need some conflict. We need people to understand who they are as women. We need some like reflection stuff. We need self-love. We need a lot of stuff that you guys have got the money to offer, but you don't want to.
But that's the
We
problem. That's the problem is you wanted the problem with you is you were going to go in and disrupt what works for them because the money comes in.
no, no,
Because
never. It's
but then what why don't they want to do any of that then?
It's not that they didn't want to, because here's the thing: it will probably end up that these things will start happening in the future. But when you're just stuck in a certain bubble, remember this is coming from the point of view of lived experience. And when you're going into people's organizations, like you said, and they're basing it off of which is not lived experience. Remember, it's for the women. A lot probation is no different. Probation don't think about the clients first. They think about the fact that they need a holiday. When's their annual leave? You understand? It's the drive. So the drive is what creates rehabilitation. Probation understand that now. From hearing from who? From who? People with lived experience. When I'm doing workshops and I'm telling them that I'm saying to them that like how I felt when I walked into the probation office for the first time. I'm like, I felt scared. I felt embarrassed. I felt this. I felt that. And they're like, really? I said, you'd be surprised what people think about when they're going through those processes, but you guys don't think about that. You don't think about the fact that giving someone a week, a mother especially, give me a week before I come to probation because I did the same thing at the gate that I did at probation. So when you break down the process of someone coming out of prison, and I told them about the drive, and then I said as soon as I got to probation, I felt like I was in
Stressful,
jail
isn't
again.
it?
I said I felt like I was in prison again as soon as I got there. I said everyone's watching me. I felt like I was overdressed. Like it was a lot. But you guys don't understand that. So without our voices, there will be no change. Yeah. So unless I stop, I have to keep screaming and shouting and talking about it because or else there will be no change. Honestly, there will be no change.
I can't believe how calm you are. Even your energy is so calm. Like I thought you'd be like, "Rah,"
Because
but
you know
it,
what?
don't- it
I've been
doesn't
fighting.
that only affects
Don't
you.
you
But
know this? You know from prison that I've been fighting for my life. Do you understand? In so many different ways. So I'm just prepared now. Like I'm ready to go back to the media. I'm ready to scream this to the world. I think everybody needs to hear because somebody somewhere knows someone that's going through the same thing. And it is so sad. And everyone can say, go and get another job. Do you not understand that if I go and get another job, the same thing's going to happen to me? I could get that job and be all excited. Yeah, got a job, got good wage. And then I start working, and then they give me the laptop, then give me a phone. I got email, they give me caseload. And then they start sending the vetting application. I start sending my stuff through while I'm working. You shouldn't be doing that. I shouldn't have been in there until the vetting was done. End of.
mm,
And that is where you failed because I wouldn't have a problem with that. Training, 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 and more training until your vetting is done because you've given me access to clients. You've given me access to a database. You've given me access. And then
and a wage.
HMPPS are going to tell you that I'm a danger. So let me tell you, people, they said that my behavior, because I'm going to say me and friends, because our crime on paper is the same thing, yeah. So their behavior is not one of those that can represent probation or prison services. Yeah, that's what they say.
Huh. Maybe you should have gone and played around with a kid then, and maybe you'd be allowed to do it because they seem to get away
So
with everything.
no, the system's going to change. That's all it is. They're gonna learn and understand that the reason you keep failing is because you keep excluding the people that might as well say started this, isn't it? So those who feel it know it. That is it. But anyway, I don't really read stuff. Is there stuff going on in here?
So someone did say,
Exactly.
so what now? Are you going to sign on? Are you going to get another job? But I think you kind of just
Me?
answered that.
Okay, here's what's gonna happen now. I am going full force driving on my CIC, so just look out for me. There's a lot coming. Because what happens is when you start going into this employment stuff, yeah, you lose focus on what you can actually do for yourself. I'm okay. I just want to spread awareness to others that may not be as strong, that just be very careful when you're getting into these positions, and you're building yourself. It is better off working for yourself. Yeah, it is. I gave it a chance and it didn't work out, so we just leave it where it is. I'm not putting myself through that again. I understand how the system works. I will stay away. I will do what I need to on this side, which is set up my CIC and do what I need to do. Do my speaking, sessions, workshops, reach out to the people that need it, and it's going to be good, man. And yeah, because you know what, I think anybody can do this. Anybody can do this, man. I'm very passionate about these women coming out. Like, I just feel like they need more, and all I really want is an accommodation. I just want a building. I want a property for these women to be able to come out and just have like somewhere to network, somewhere to just have a little peace, somewhere to just, yeah, to just be without the judgment, without anything, with their children, with their part, because there isn't that, like, like a HMP cafe outside, because I'm telling you, the reconnection isn't always about, you guys don't understand, man. The reconnecting is so deep because this is something that we've gone through that you can't explain. Like, you can't explain. And by default, we stick together no matter what, no matter who. Do you understand?
Yeah, no, 100%. It is mad because we just sort of come together when something happens like this, and then you're like on the phone at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
I'm like, Lee, I'm not working today. No, I'm joking. I messaged you as soon as I got up though. I was like, I
Yeah.
got,
No, that's
I got a
fine.
long, I got a long drive, but and it's mad, isn't it? How we cannot speak for months, but we're still so tight, and like, I mean, obviously that's what true friendships are like. But then it's always the ex-prisoner you need to go to because they understand. Like, no one
Yeah.
gets it. Like, I can go to mum or sister or brother, but they don't know unless you've been to prison and you've experienced it. And then it's that whole knockback, and then it's like you feel like now you've just walked
Yeah.
out the gates again, and you've got to do it all over again.
Thank you. And
Does
I
that
just
make
needed a
sense?
minute to do this, that's it. I just needed a minute to do that. And I love and respect all my people, man. And they've been giving me good advice, and they're like, just do your own thing. They don't deserve you. You're better than them. And I'm like, I know that, but I'm still at a place in the fresh 24 hours, which was yesterday, of I feel like I'm being punished again. So all this work, because remember, I know what I'm doing. So this is a day-to-day effort. This is a day-to-day thing for me. So to know that I built myself so high up, and then one individual, just one, made a decision based off of her opinion rather than the facts, and got rid of me. And that's just how I feel. Because that's what it was.
Because, well, that you've been treated that way to feel that way. You don't just
Yeah.
magically
It
feel
just
a
come
way
out of
for no
nowhere.
reason, do you?
No, it doesn't just come from nowhere. So it just makes me wonder, like, what's happening to everyone else when this is happening? Like, what's really going on out here? What's really
Mm.
going on? Because I've been through a lot. I still haven't started, really telling the story. I've put up a few posts recently because, again, everything happens for a reason. I've been trying to start this story again because working takes up a lot of time. It does,
Oh yeah,
and some things
yeah,
are not
yeah.
working for
Leaving,
others.
yeah, going doing 0 hours, and that is the best thing that I've done. Like, I get to do so much more stuff. Like, it's stuff. I don't know where that is because I'm in sunny
That
Donny.
sounded mad.
I know I'm in Doncaster now, but like, I couldn't have travelled up here and been off tomorrow and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, it's you need it, but you've got to stay in a routine. Like, make sure you keep busy because
Yeah,
that's the only danger of it is when you're not busy, um,
yeah.
you end up,
But you know
yeah,
me, man, I'm always busy, man. I think it's just it's motivated me, it's inspired me even more to just do my own thing and just, yeah,
yeah,
just keep
man,
pushing.
smash it and
Like,
just be like, yeah, I'll be better than you ever will be.
yeah,
Show them
but
what they lost.
I just feel like I said, organizations can do what they want, but when you are branding yourself as, the women in prison organization, there's nothing that you shouldn't be able to do, regardless. Like, they should have fought for me. They should fight for anyone. They should fight for that in their strategies and in their stuff. It's like, can we have something in place for the people that don't get vetted? Because it's not the first time it's happened. And what the worst thing is that when you've got colleagues that, it makes it hard for the colleagues to just get on with new people, because you don't even know what's going to happen with them because of the
And
way
they
that
don't even
that
want to tell it you either, I'm guessing. I'm guessing they don't even want to go, oh, by the way, if you fail your vetting, you've lost your job. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but you kind of know that in a sense, because this is what they come back and said. They said, well, it was stated when we offered you the job that it was under condition of your checks. But I'm like, did you consider the impact of allowing me to start the role, actively engaging with people and doing stuff, and then removing that within? Did you? And so this is what my argument is going to be with them, because I am going to complain about it. Because what we doing?
Because it's
I
not
was.
just damaging you, it's damaging the vulnerable women that you are working with. So it's a whole
I was.
ripple
I was.
effect.
I was like, when she said it, I said, okay, even though it's today, isn't there no way I can just like go in tomorrow, because I have actually got appointments with my clients, and I don't feel like it's correct. And I said to her, what you lot need to understand is that this is all the part of when people. This is how people get back into cycles of reoffending, because they build trust in people, and sometimes when you build trust in someone, it takes a lot. So I know that this woman,
Mm.
there's a woman in particular, I know it took a lot for her to build trust, because on paper it can look like you're a nuisance and people will just treat you accordingly, but because I'm just me, we built a very good relationship, and I know that me not being there is going to have an impact on her, because when I told her that I wasn't coming back, it was like, well, how can you just leave? And I'm like, it's not me, it's not me. This is beyond my power. And she's just like, now I gotta tell people my life all over again. And she's like, it's because it's not gonna work. And that's something that they're gonna have to deal with, look at and reflect on. But I'm done. I'm done. I don't want anything other than people to understand awareness, be aware of these organizations that, support women that come out of prison, or men or whatever. Just be very careful about
Yeah,
wanting to
they
be
do.
involved
They
with
do
them.
need to be outed. They need to be outed for it because this could be this could lead to reoffending. This
Of
could
course it
lead to reoffending. This is
you could
like this is madness.
I said it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I did say it to the lady that actually handed me the note. I said to her at the time, in that moment, that this could this could actually make me do something if I wasn't who I was. If I wasn't in the place that I was in mentally, I dread to think what I would have done if I walked out of there.
That's what
I
I
walked
mean.
out of there and I cried and I called my mum.
Oh, bless
But I
you.
didn't cry because I was sad. I was just in so much shock because I felt it. Like imagine someone calling you so early, and I was saying to her, like, what is this about? And she was just like, I think we should just talk about it in person. And I just thought, this is all a bit dodgy. Like, wouldn't you just set up a
Yeah.
meeting and like, can you come in at this day at this time? But it wasn't that. It was just very much like, yeah, anytime today you can just come. Doesn't really matter. And I was
Kalinda
like,
said that the women in prison have been doing this to their staff since 2017.
really? Wow. That's wow. That's, what? I think someone said that. I think she went as far back as 2009. I'm not going to lie to you.
Shit.
Yeah, I think she said because her sentence was quite long ago. But I wasn't aware of these things. You know, I don't feel like I've been victimized in a sense. But mm, I don't. Anyway, but I just feel like, nah, this is not correct on any level. And like I said, if it wasn't women in prison, if it was just some other I wouldn't really care. But you stand for something. An ex-offender came out of prison and set this up, not to look like what it does. That's what I'm
Mhm.
saying. It's not. That wasn't her vision. This wasn't her vision. Definitely not. Because so what's happened is that over 40 years, you get different appointees. People get different positions. You've now got
Yeah.
people in positions with no lived experience. Um, it's just ridiculous. Like it's ridiculous. And then when I look at the amount of people that actually have lived experience, don't get me wrong, lived experience. Yes, I know it's like things that you may not have gone through, but you've seen. But I'm talking about like going into custody, that type of experience, and then working within an organization that has that experience. It's not very high. Not from my understanding or my knowledge, it weren't very high, or it wasn't really in the places that it needed to be, like advocacy roles. Because for me, I don't know. Like if I run an organization, it would be very different. You have people that come in, you put them on these workshops. They take your time with them, and then you train them. to whether it is be facilitators, to facilitate for the new people. There's mentorships. There's so much different things. Even with the probation stuff, I introduced. Like I said to them, why don't you just do reverse mentoring? You can have you lot could literally set up something where each person that comes up, they could be a mentor. You could have people like me that you can engage with to help you support your clients properly. Because when you give them the reality of people's lives, they start to think. But without it, they just don't care. They're like, yeah, 15 pages, yeah, 15 pages of an oasis. But that's the attitude. there's, there's so many pages they have to go through. But I bless them, man. I feel so sorry for them. But those pages are my life. So there's problems within the system all the way through. But the organizations don't make it worse. They just take the money, they just take the stuff, but they don't deliver. They really don't. They don't pay attention, man. It's just ridiculous. Figures, numbers, it's just all rubbish. We don't care about that. We don't care about that. And if you want proper numbers and figures, then maybe you should engage with people like us more and stop taking the piss out of our lives, man. I'm sure we've got a lot more value than a lot of people out here based on just lived experience. Because Nelson Mandela said it. He said, you do not know a nation unless you've gone inside its prisons. And it's not a joke. I've had officers reach out to me, talking about the depression and anxiety and that they have since leaving the job, because it's a lot.
Do you remember the young black officer, Ali? In
Yeah.
Send. I see her in a petrol station. She jumped on me. She was like, "Oh, give me a
Ali.
hug." And yeah, she was like, I left. And I was like, what? She went, yeah. She goes, they're all a bunch of backstabbing. She goes, assholes, them officers. She was like, it
Yeah.
give me anxiety, all of that. Like, so I've heard it as well. And that's mad.
Yeah.
You know, that's coming from the officers as well. That it shouldn't even be like that. Do you remember? I can't remember the officer's name. Me and Max were sat in the laundry room, and she was saying to us, one officer wouldn't speak to another officer because they had the same name.
Oh, Maxi, man.
But anyway, I'm going off track. Yeah, I know.
That's okay. That's all right. And then you
But
took me into a place.
I was saying, like, yeah, it's mad what damage.
Who said I can't go back there, Joe? Who said I can't?
It's a shame we can't go back to the BBC with an update. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But
No one said I can't, but I'm not like. No one said I can't, but you tell me, Joe. If you see on the news, you see me on the news, and they're like, "Yeah, we rehabilitate, and we've got Lee here, and they've offered her work, and and then you see me sitting here, laughing but crying inside because they've just been fucking sacked, man. Come ready, me, and they're gonna go, no, it's not us, it's them. Okay, well, you still got rid, babes. Just like days before Christmas and that.
fucking mad.
They want me to go
You're
on
doing
TikTok and
really well, though.
start begging
Actually,
for gifts, mate.
yeah.
No,
We please gift
no, but
her.
on a serious note, though, if I'm being very honest, again, because I've always because I've always been a certain type of way, I'm very businesslike. I've run a few little things on my own. I'm okay, but I'm thinking about the people that aren't, people that would solely just depend on this wage.
Yeah,
This wage has now been taken away. On the 20th of December, whatever money you have, that's it. Until
you find a
because
job.
depending on your mindset, you might not remember that you need to call the housing benefit if you rent a property, like if you rent a council flat, and tell them that your circumstances has changed. Because these are the little things that mess up people's mental health, because they don't think about that.
That's what I mean. You've
So
got a
it
child
creates
as
more
well,
problems in their life. Sorry.
and you've got a child as well.
Yeah. So imagine if I decided that I'm gonna, I don't know, take something out, and then I'm gonna, how do I pay for it now? Because it's not like I was working there for 1 month. You gave me enough time to create, like, I don't know, some type of credit thing. Luckily, I'm not like that. Yeah, because I can't afford to I can't afford to sit and depend on that wage. Because look what they did. So that
Yeah,
was just a bonus in my life. I was like, okay, this is good, but it's not the dependency. I still pay my bills elsewhere mostly. You understand? That was like having a little, yeah. And that's what's important, because that could ruin someone. So I'm telling you, I don't want to go deep, man, but the unaliving levels that
yeah, because it's Christmas time. People have kids, they've turned their life around, and then you've been like, you've not just lost your job. It's not like you're somebody that hasn't committed a crime. Yeah, well, I don't do the crime then, blah, 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 blah. It's done. It's done. So forget that part. You can't just get a job as easy as somebody else can. Do you know what I mean?
But
And this is the time of year where people do mad stuff.
But me in the job center, we're going to have a situation because even before I was working with them, I didn't go to the job center because, as far as I'm concerned, I've just come out of jail. I don't know what kind of job you think I can get, but I can't. So when I was getting the advocacy job, I was like, yeah, look, I'm trying to get a job that works for my situation, innit? So when I now go back, because I'm going to have to go back and claim because you
Man,
can't just
skip
do that.
time, man. They've screwed with your mental health. You can't leave the house. You can't do this. You can't do that. You can't get a job. They've not your confidence, mate. It's benefit time.
No, not even that, but I'm going to have to like keep my head together because if I just decide to sit in one.
No, listen, 100%. Listen, everything happens for a reason. I
It's
know that's the
disgusting.
last
I
thing you
know.
want
I
to hear
shouldn't laugh,
now,
Dave. I'm
but
sorry, man.
this is where you are to thrive on your own now. Like, obviously, we all work together, we do stuff together, but this is where you shine because you got to think about, okay, what did I learn? What was the shit they were doing wrong? How can I do this right? You can learn by their mistakes. There's a lot. You are very powerful right now. Do you know what I mean? You
But
are very
also,
strong.
you have to remember that we had a plan. Again, as ex-offenders, especially not just with lived experience, as ex-offenders that's been to jail, we had a plan already of what we was going to do. So to go into an organization, forget about what they're doing. I'm seeing all the stuff that we spoke about. It's nowhere near. They don't have a clue. And it's not just them. No one does. I've sat here for 3 years, no? Everything we spoke about in the beginning and
Mm,
2 years ago. You see anybody doing anything close? We don't even have to talk about it because it's still going to be there when we're
yeah.
ready because we understand the needs. And I'm willing to put in all of my time and my effort and you understand, to understand how to build a business, CIC, CIO, whatever it is, to make sure that I have opportunities to create homes and employment for the women
Yeah.
that come out because no one else is doing it. And all these organizations are not doing it. But you're getting the funding to do it. You've got the resources to do it. You've got the this to do it. So what are we doing here? So when you
Yeah.
look at the figures of the
They're not even
reoffending rate,
employing people. They're
go
just
and look
upping
at the
their
figures
wage. That's all they're doing.
on the women's reoffending rates. Look at them and then tell me about these organizations. What are they doing? What are you doing? Other than putting in fake reports every year and getting more money from your commissioners and whosoever you get it from. It's disgusting. It's
Uh,
disgusting. It's disgusting.
100%. Glenna said that was me, Lee. I had to claim benefits after that. I had a breakdown. Has anyone got any questions for me or Lee? Well,
I feel
God.
like this is a breakdown. This is what I call a breakdown, Glenda.
Well, I'm. Do you know what? I'm worried because you're not ranting, or unless you've just chilled the last time. Like, but this
What
is
do you
like,
mean? This is the rant.
I was like, and you can't get a word in edgeways like that. You could, like, I don't feel any. You're too calm.
It's called resilience, babes. It's called resilience.
We
I've
will. Do you
built
know what,
this.
Diane? We will get the funding. Don't worry about that. It'll come. It'll
Of course you
come.
will.
Don't worry.
Of
And
course you
then
will.
we're
But you
gonna
just have to
absolutely
know what
smash
you're doing.
it. Well,
Oh
what
yeah, of
would you
course you
give
will.
your 18-year-old? What would you give your 18-year-old self? Or advice? Sorry.
What would I give my 18-year-old self? Yeah, just keep pushing. Like I wouldn't tell my 18-year-old self nothing different. I wasn't a bad child. I had a great childhood. I started driving at 17. I started traveling at 18. Like, what would I tell my younger self? I didn't do nothing. My younger self that I would tell him. I'd do the same thing again. That's what I would tell my young. Do the same thing again, even better. That means double the countries you went to. So you went to 20 countries, go to 40. Like,
Oh, mate.
that's a good question, though.
Corinne's just had a lot of stuff going on. Do you know what? For me, I would be like talk but then 18 is too late, damage is done, so there's probably nothing that I would tell myself, if I'm honest. If I was younger, if you said like your younger self, then mine would have been not but find someone to talk to, like don't bottle everything up that you're going through, and then I wouldn't have even turned to drugs in the first place. Where's the other two?
No.
Corinne's got shit going on, huh?
Oh, I didn't say it. I was going to say something, but no.
Oh, go on, no, go
What,
on. Sorry.
what was like? I was just reading something. It says, "What was life like after prison?" God, we're gonna have to do an hour on that, babes.
On what?
That's a
On
that's
that
a whole nother.
question.
That is not a
Yeah,
question. That is
it
a
is
pod.
a. It is definitely a long-winded answer for that one. That's for sure. And do
I've
you know
got
what?
bullet
The way
points.
to just answer it quick was the biggest emotional roller coaster you could ever imagine of highs and lows, depression, happiness, freaking yeah. Just that's the only way I could describe it in a 2-second answer.
What was it like? Bloody hell! Wasted my 3 years of for nothing. Waste of
No,
time. That's
because
what
you've
it's like.
got to think about the information you got. You've got to think about how, like, all the information of how these things have been running, how what not to do. Like, you're quite powerful now.
I've always been powerful.
No, I know, but when you know inside information on how other organisations are working and how crap they are, you know what you're competing against.
But no disrespect to any organization that I've worked for, because I've mentioned them previously, but they're all the same, babes.
But
They're
that's what.
all
But what
the
I'm saying is,
same.
you haven't wasted 3 years. What I'm trying to tell you is, if you hadn't have done all these
Oh
things,
no, in the
going,
prison. I'm
huh?
saying, I'm saying in the prison,
Oh,
because it was like, what was like after when I came out, I thought, what was the point of doing that? That's what I thought. What was the point of doing that when there's no support for me, no support for my the sole caring child that I'm looking after, no support for nothing, no support, no support, no support. So you locked up a mother and just let her out into community with no support. That was a breeding ground for not only reoffending, but abuse on the child. Being honest, like that anything could have happened to her in the first couple of weeks of coming out because there was no support. They just left me with the child. It's only because I have a support network. Do you understand? That's why it's so
mhm.
important to have a support network because without that, these people are at risk. I was
Yeah.
more of a risk. I was more of a community risk than I was a criminal risk when I came out of prison. Imagine that, because I've never been to jail before. So I'm now a risk out here because I've never been in this situation before. It's crazy.
What advice would you give to someone who's going into prison? Don't shy
Hmm.
away in your cell. Come out straight away because you'll be classed as vulnerable. Keep doing as many jobs and studying and whatever you can do. Keep yourself busy as much as possible because otherwise the time drags.
I would say use it as an opportunity to learn and grow, reflect, shadow work. It's important, and understand you're never going to get a chance like that to be by yourself again. So make the most of it. Yes, it's a cell, and yes, you're in there for 14 hours a day. But do you know what? That is your life. There's a reason why God has put you there. Embrace it. Do as much as you can for yourself when you're in there. That's what I would
It's
say.
radios on. This hotel room's freezing.
What advice would you give to someone who's, oh yeah, definitely for them to do for themselves, and always communicate with the outside world. Don't get into those habits of being in your sentence. Yeah, I would say that always send, if it's a card, a letter, just to tell your people that you love them and that you care, because these things are important, man. Don't lose your connection with outside when you're in there. Don't do that. And the advice to people that are out here, even though it wasn't a question, but if anyone has someone in prison, please, I beg, just create email a prisoner, and just the same way you can text your friend or text, be on your phone, just send them an email. I'm telling you, it will make such a difference to their life.
I know. I've said before. I used to even the amount of reply sheets that I come home with that I'd never replied to, but people, my true friends, just kept sending them anyway. So
Yeah,
even if they don't reply to you, keep sending them because it made me happy. But like
yeah,
either one,
yeah,
I'll just it's just Fran in it. Like I'm present when I want to be present, and I'm not when I don't want to be. But or I could be going through it, and I just don't want to write home. I don't. I've got nothing positive to say, so I don't bother. But still receiving them because people go, oh well, I sent them an email and they haven't replied. Just keep if you really love that person, just keep sending them because trust me, it makes such a difference.
yeah. It does. I didn't work that long. I worked there for just under 6 months, or 5 months, 4 or 5 months. It's long enough, like when I went to prison, I don't know, I'm sure you can back this up, Fran, but when I was in there, after 3 months, you're kind of settled, isn't it? You've got a little routine going, maybe got your job, you understand? You're not
Mm.
happy, but you're settled.
Yeah.
And that's always been the case for me because I've had so much change, especially in my sentence, where I moved 6 times in it. So every 6 months for most of that sentence, I moved. So after the 3 months, I'm comfortable. Now 6 months, I'm well comfortable. So I just feel traumatized. I felt traumatized inside.
I don't know. I just can't help but laugh. I just think it just brings me back to us being on the landing and just fucking around and going outside with bin bags on us, with fingerless knitted gloves,
But that was
playing
that was the way
cards.
we managed our mental health was serious. That black bag, listen, guys, laminated cards and black bags in the rain.
Just to get outside
Stop
with us.
laughing. It's not funny.
But no,
That,
I'm just thinking just all the sneakiness coming out of ourselves and me just throwing shit under your door and kicking Ron's door, making her jump, pulling
but
Moonies at
sitting out
Kim.
there, because knowing that you're only going to get this 45 minutes. Now, pick up yourself though, Fran, because you know what? They try to finesse us. They try to say, yeah, 15 minutes. Fran was like, 15 minutes? Nah, you lot are mad. We by law, we're like 45 minutes outside. Yeah, Fran. I see, I remember Fran walking around with that paper voice. Like, you lot better, this is not legal. No, it was jokes. It was jokes. It was because
I know.
they tried to give us like 15 minutes outside, but by
And then it
law,
started, don't you remember it started off 10 minutes? But in that
yeah.
time, we had to make our phone calls as well.
And remember, they capped the calls at that time as well
Yeah,
to 5 minutes
yeah,
per call. Remember,
yeah. But
and then they
like I
capped them
said,
to an hour when we was in the when we got them in our cells. Do you know that? Do you know, guys? They only put the phones in send because of COVID. Like they didn't want to spend the money.
oh no, yeah, they never had phones in the cells until COVID
No,
hit.
no,
But it was
no
mad though.
longer.
Just it was just I don't know. We did have so many funny times though as well.
Yeah,
Like
we did.
even though it was
And our
deep, it
relationship
was.
started great as well. Like I came on the
Uh,
landing and you needed a set, and I was like, you like want to play music? Yeah, I'm
oh yeah,
in.
for my birthday, it was my 40th birthday, wasn't it? Oh
Yeah, we
mate,
had the
that was a
you
wicked
know that
party
thing.
though.
Do you
And the-
remember?
yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
No,
That was
it was
good.
wicked. That was before lockdown, wasn't it? Obviously, of course, twat. But yeah,
Oh my
I don't
god.
know. I just think about her.
So oh my god, Diane said it's like giving you false hope. I'm gonna send a nasty email to the woman in prison. Come on.
Do it. Let's
Oh
everyone
man.
bombard them. Didn't you say
I
that?
think we should. I think we should. No, but no. But you know what? It's all about accountability, and it's not just them. If you're going to do that, CC in the HMPPS as well, because they're the ones that's MOJ. This is it starts at the top. MOJ are the ones that said that this is how you're going to have to deal with people. MOJ are the ones that say that when people come out of prison, that's how you deal with them. Like they constructed all of these failures. It's MOJ and
Hi, John.
HMPPS.
Welcome in the room.
So,
Sorry,
so we've got
someone
5 minutes left. So we're going to do more
yeah.
questions and then we're going to skid out.
I can't. Yeah, mate. I need to try and get an early night. So we're both ex-offenders, John, and we've rehabilitated our life, and we're just showing that not all
Oh
ex-prisoners are
yeah.
scum.
Please,
So
Sam. Is that Sam? Sam? Is that Sam who I think it is? But Sam said, didn't you
no,
save up calls and then lose them? Remember?
no.
And because everyone thought that because they were giving us like I think it was what £5 a week, people weren't making no calls in it and saving the money on their pin. And then they sent a letter saying that we can't have the money, that it's not our
Yeah,
money. That,
yeah, yeah.
and people were saving that money to come home. Can you imagine?
Yeah, Mum's good, thank you. I've left her overnight, but I'm so far away from home.
Oh,
It gives me a bit of anxiety.
right, sorry, I'm trying to be good with the comments. I'm not really good. Oh, this is jokes. Yeah, it was jokes, man. Sorry, Sam. I thought that was
I know, but we did. We had so. I don't know. I don't know. Our landing was something else, man. It was something
There's
else.
loads of little memories, but the thing is that I feel like I know why you're stuttering because a lot of the memories involve Stan in it or Stanley, might as well say, if that makes sense. And it just gets sad for me. I'm not gonna lie, so I don't really want to talk about a lot of the fun
Yeah,
times. I don't think I'm ready for that. I'm not gonna lie. I get really like Yeah, I'm not ready for that, if I'm honest. I'm being real. I'm not ready. I feel like I stop when I get to send because a lot of my memories are with Max. A lot of them.
I
Are
know.
my funniest memories. Like, so yeah, try to stay away from that area.
So I am in Doncaster, guys. I am doing a
Oh.
podcast with Ellie McKay in the morning. Well, at 12 o'clock tomorrow. So I'm really buzzing for that. Really buzzing. Right, it was just a mission. It took me like 5 hours.
Who's
Hey,
Ellie McKay?
Corinne, there you are. Huh?
Who's Ellie McKay? Who's that?
She does audio podcasts. She's
Okay.
interviewed some. Let me show you. Hang on.
I think I went on. What was I on the other day? Like it's like a podcast that goes on every day. Oh, it's really bad. I don't know the name of this thing. But yeah, we're not going to promote that because they just used me.
Oh, I can't do. Hang on. I
No, that's
can't
not
do.
working.
I
No.
can't. Whoa, man.
just send it to me. What
No,
is
but
she
I'm showing
doing,
everyone
guys?
else as well.
Can you not see that? Yeah, you can screenshot it and then probably memories are all we really are, and no one can take them. Yes, because memories don't live like people do, boy.
Yeah, so I'm giving my story to her, obviously.
Okay, good stuff.
Very excited. Lee, thank you so much for this evening. I know it's
You're more
been
than
so
welcome,
long
man. It's been
today,
a pleasure.
and I hope you feel better coming off this live as well, venting a little bit.
I do, I actually do. And these guys have been so welcoming as well. So thank
I
you
always
so much.
are. Honestly, my lot are out of this world. They're amazing. Guys, go and hit her up on YouTube, moan at her because she doesn't do enough. Although I have seen her do a couple of posts the last couple of days. So,
Yeah. Yes, I'm
but yeah.
trying. I'm trying, but I realize that YouTube is a channel. So yeah, I've got a lot of content, guys. So I will do more. Especially that I'm fired up and I'm unemployed and I've got nothing better to do with my life. Might as well just join YouTube, innit?
Yeah, that's it. YouTube and TikTok. We'll start doing some work on TikTok because I might go over to the dark side a little bit. I'll come and
Oh,
do some lives with you.
okay. That sounds
Corinne, I love you and I
interesting.
hope you're okay.
All right, so we signing out. Thank you again, guys. Thank you
Yes,
so much, honestly. Oh, bless you. Thank you so
Lee,
much
I
for
love
being here.
you
I
and
love you
I
more.
will speak to you in the morning, yeah? Thank you,
Long time
everybody, for
being
tuning
out.
in, by the way. Thank you, everybody. Right, I'll speak to you soon. Take care.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.